What is going on? We are streaming live. It's so good to see all of you today. What a weekend. What a weekend. What a few weeks it has been here. And I tell you, it's one of those times when you're like, this is just interesting. What is happening around us? So I hope that if you're watching right now, that you've had a good weekend, you've had a good past couple of weeks. Do me a favor, comment. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, make sure that you say hello, and we'll say hello back. Hey, Andrea, what's going on? It's good to see you. John, how are you, buddy? Good to see you. And like I said, I know we're going to have a lot more folks coming in, and I'll make sure that we say hey to you back too. So I have lots of fun stories. There is my buddy Gerald. Hey, Gerald from New York, live from Saturday Night Live stuff. One of my faves. So I love that. We got my buddy Scott coming in saying, hey, it's good to see you. Like I said, it has been an interesting last couple days. And today I wanted to kind of walk you through some of the fun stuff, some of the fun stuff that we've been through, and some of the not so fun stuff. And hey, Dave, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. And just to kind of walk you through how we're moving forward, how businesses around me are moving forward, what's happening during all these things. And so a couple key things that I want to go through. Hey, Frank, what's up, buddy? A couple key things that I want to go through today are a tornado that came through here, COVID-19, and I think the most important topic on this whole thing for me, which is hope. And, what do you got going on up here that's going to get you through when things are so crazy? So just to sort of give you kind of a step-by-step as to sort of what's been happening the last little bit. And then we're going to talk about tornado. We're going to talk about COVID-19. Last couple of weeks have been strange. I run a business, for those of you that don't know me real well. I run a business. I started off as a chiropractor years ago, got into online marketing and helping other businesses grow using stuff that I was using to help my chiropractic office grow. I really got into this internet thing because of my business. I was just trying to grow my business, and it turned into this whole thing where what we did worked. And so people started really, getting behind, what we were doing, and, really asking for help. And let's see. We got Dave making fun of my Denver Nuggets shirts. I love this logo, though. This was one of the best Nuggets logos ever. I'm a Memphis guy all the way, and then Lakers close after. So just to kind of give you an idea, I started off doing that stuff. I got into this business, and I've been working from home for probably 5 to 8 years now. And it's been interesting. It's this whole quarantine that's been going on hasn't really been much of a schedule change for me in terms of, what my business does and how my business works and those things. But yeah, it's been interesting the last little bit because it's changed everybody else's game. So over the last little bit, I would say that I was in Washington probably 3 weeks to a month ago. And I was in DC for a conference. And this is right around the time that, things started getting really serious with COVID-19 and with, people in there. So I come home from Washington, and about the time that I get home from Washington, I realized that there were some cases of it in DC around the area where I was at. Yeah, exactly, Keith. Exactly. But there were some things about where I was at, and there were some cases there. And so when I got home, I pretty much self-quarantined myself. Not that I thought I had it, not that I had any symptoms, but it got really real to me. And about 2-3 days after that, they started shutting down the NBA, and then they started shutting down college sports, and then everything pretty much got shut down. And so from about the time I got home a month ago to now is when things really started getting interesting. So that sort of leads into the story. I've watched all my friends that are around here that are in local businesses. I've watched my friends shut down their businesses or change the way their businesses work. And it's been hard. I've had a lot of people wondering, where their next paycheck's coming from, how they're going to be able to pay the rent. I've got a lot of my fellow online marketers that are watching this right now that have said, well, if the local businesses that we help, if they're in trouble, aren't we in trouble too? And so there's been a lot of uncertainty. And, I think that's natural when you're paying attention, that there's a lot of uncertainty. And, it's interesting. So we'll get into more of that. First, I got to tell you a story. This weekend was weird. This weekend, my town got walloped. And I don't know of a better way to put it than just walloped. Um, I live in a town called Jonesboro, Arkansas. And you may have not heard of it before now, or you may have not heard of it before this weekend. Unfortunately, we have a big story on the New York Times today. We have a big story on CNN the last couple of days. I'm pretty sure I've seen it on Fox and MSNBC. Like we're just in the news today, and it's not for something fun. It's because we got walloped by a pretty massive tornado over the last couple of days, and it was strange. Just to sort of walk you through sort of what happened. I was at my house setting this up. For those of you that check out my live streams every so often, this is a different setup that I normally have. But I was working on this, and so there's a big mess back here just in case you're actually paying real close attention because it's not done yet. But I was up here, and I get a text from my wife. She was downstairs, and she said, they're saying the weather's funny. And I started getting notifications on my phone, like the warnings that they send out. And I was like, okay, well, let me know. She's like, don't come down yet, but maybe we get into a spot soon that is a little bit safer. So I was paying attention to it at that point, but I was still working up here and doing all the things that I needed to do. So I'm at home and I'm up in my office and I'm up here and I get another thing that says take shelter. And so I'm like, okay, my wife texts me about this and says, come on down. So I go downstairs and we get in sort of this room in our house that is no windows, pretty protected. It's sort of got walls on all sides and, it's going to be your best spot. So we're there and we have the news on and our weather guys are sitting there and they're saying, all right, well, there's a tornado watch. It's going to be over here. And they were talking about the area that I'm in. I am in Jonesboro, Arkansas. And they were like, we need to be careful right now. And so what happens is the actual weather service that was sort of, knocking down what this thing actually was had downgraded it. And they said, this is not a tornado watch anymore. We're just going to downgrade it to a severe thunderstorm warning. Okay. And so that's sort of what happened. Hey, Jennifer, how are you? Yeah, Andrea, I really love our community too. Hey, David, what's up, buddy? How are you? Good to see you. So they downgrade this to a severe thunderstorm. And this was not our weather guys. Our weather guys got on and said, now listen, something doesn't seem right about this. Something doesn't seem right about this downgrade. This is not exactly what they said, but I'm paraphrasing. They said, you should still treat this like it's a tornado. And so we did. We did. So thank you, Emmy. That's really nice of you. Emmy says, you guys are the best and much appreciated. If anybody hasn't worked with this group before, heads up, they're really excellent everything they do. That means the world to me. Thank you so much. So we're listening to the weather guys, and they tell us that this severe thunderstorm is still treated like a tornado. So we did. We're in the closet. And then all of a sudden, they throw up this webcam. And it's a weather cam that's on top of a bank, right? It's on top of a bank or a hospital, something. I can't remember. But it's aiming back towards our house. Okay, so this is about a mile away, 5 to 10 minutes drive if you're having to make it, but it's about a mile to 2 miles away from us. And they're aiming it back at us. And you see this giant wall cloud. And it's just this wall of clouds that's moving quickly. And it was scary and menacing looking. And so this cloud starts coming our way. And as this cloud's coming our way, it starts to get very, very interesting. And then immediately they start upgrading this thing back to the tornado. And then the tornado sirens start coming off. And at this point, they've switched back to the weather guy in front of the screen with the webcam. And he's starting to point out this thing coming down to the ground. And at this moment, we're fairly certain that it's right on top of us because at the exact moment that's starting to happen, the power starts to flicker where we're at. Now, somehow, when it starts to hit the ground, they pinpoint where it's hit the ground and it's past us. It's just barely past us. And I want to be very sensitive with this because the feelings that I had at that moment are interesting. The feelings that I had at that moment were I'm safe, my family's safe, our neighbors are safe, everybody's safe. But very quickly, those feelings turn into horror because what happens is about the time they pinpoint where it's at, you also realize where this is hitting. And where this is hitting is the busiest, typically the busiest part of our town, which is sort of where all the stores are. Now, this is a Saturday between 4 and 5 o'clock. And so this is going to be like the busiest time for it most days. And so what happens is this tornado starts to move this direction and it hits the ground. And I just remember being like, oh God, this is the worst place this could absolutely hit of anywhere. And so it hits, and what ends up happening is just extremely scary because I can very quickly see cars on the road, very quickly cars, lights on the road because it's so dark. And what you see is this giant, because it starts to, it gets bigger and darker because it's picking things up. So it's picking things up, and then it goes over the main road in our town. And so there's this sense of relief that I have because we're safe. But then there's also this sense of there's no way that whoever is out there right now that's in the middle of this is going to survive. Like when you're looking at this, and if any of you that have seen this video or seen pictures of this, there's just no way that anybody's getting through this if you're out there. And so I'm frantically texting everybody that I know that's that way, everybody that's a few miles down the road, and trying to figure out how we can warn people, but also just complete horror, and being scared because what's happening to these people that anyways, it moves through, it hits all these things. We start seeing pictures of our little town. And it's a town of about 75 to 100,000 people, but we start seeing pictures of the damage. And once again, as you start seeing pictures of the damage, buildings completely flattened, cars thrown, electricity, wires down everywhere. You start to understand how dismal things must be. And what's playing in your head is what's normally happening in your town during those times, not what's happening during all the COVID-19 stuff and the quarantines. You're playing that how many people must be down there right now. And then, you start to get, you get a little farther down the road. The storm's dissipated. Your friends have all reported back. And I can't tell you how many friends texted me, and I really appreciate that. People that were here, people that were from other places. But you start to get a sense that your friends are okay. And that's great. But then you're also like, there's got to be people that are hurt. When it was all said and done the next day, and we still don't know everything because we're 2 days out now. But when it was all said and done, what we found out was that no one was killed. We had around 22 injuries. And of those injuries, only 2 had to go to the hospital, but they were they were very low grade. They were non-life-threatening things. And that's amazing. And so you are very thankful that it wasn't more populated down there. Of all the stuff that you get upset about with you can't go outside, and that, we're being sort of held inside. For this one instance, we were very happy that that was the case, that all these stores and restaurants were closed down during this, because if they hadn't, the loss of life here would have been, I can't even predict. And so, if you're looking for a silver lining for COVID-19 right now, that's one of them. Anyways, right now, my town, we're looking at the damage and figuring out how to rebuild. And that's the thing. If you see pictures of this right now, it's unreal, the damage. We have people that are my customers. We have people that are my clients that don't have a house right now because the roof got torn off, and their whole house is going to have to be rebuilt. Those are the very scary things that are happening. All in all, during all that, though, I have to say, I feel very blessed and very lucky that we got out with what we did, and no more damage, no loss of human life, no more injuries. We've got a lot of damage, a lot of things to rebuild, but we can rebuild those things. And this is one of the, I live here for a reason, because I love this community, and we're going to be fine. So that's great. But we get into that, and we get into sort of this next thing I want to talk about, which is COVID-19. And I feel like this town comes out of it in a very big way. But it could have been a lot worse had this not been going on. So the reason I wanted to bring that up today is for every one of you that have reached out to us in my crew, my business, just because you know me through business and this internet thing that we do. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Like, you all checking on us this weekend was one of the nicest gestures that we've ever had. And I really, really appreciate that. So for those of you that are watching this, that are a part of this town, we're going to make it. And I'm going to throw this out here to you guys. If you need anything, if you know anybody that does need anything, we have a significant network of people that want to help. And if I can't help you directly, we know some people that can. So please let me know what we can do to help. And you know, I'm just so thankful everybody's safe. So getting into COVID-19, that's a silver lining to COVID-19 right there. Like I said, I think a lot of lives, you know, ended up being saved because we were so quarantined here. If there is a silver lining, I tell you, what's happening right now with COVID-19 is I feel like people are starting to take it seriously. I feel like people are starting to understand what we need to do. We need to be very careful with being out in public right now. We need to be sheltered and away from each other as much as possible so we can get past this. But from a business standpoint, one of the things that I am very inspired right now, and I want to tell you all about this because it's so powerful what I've seen in the last couple of weeks. Since this started going down, what I started to realize is this: business owners, communities, step up. So a couple stories that I want to tell you about this because this is big. Number one, I just got to say it, and I feel very selfish and my emotions are very mixed on this one, but my business is up. I have a lot of entrepreneurs that their business is up. I have a lot of entrepreneurs that their business is way down. And it's weird, the things that go up, the things that go down. And so a lot of what we've been doing right now in our business, because, you know, is we've been teaching people how to reach out during this time, how to reach out to their clients, how to reach out to people that they can't actually serve right now, that they can't make money with right now. How do you actually continue to grow? And it's this, by the way, this is it. I'm broadcasting from my house right now, but I'm making a connection with a lot of you. And that is a way we've continued to contact our folks. And that's a way that, hey, Mabes, what's up? Good to see you. That's a way that we've been able to continue to go, is we've been doing live streams. And every business out there, whether you're a part of a restaurant, whether you're a part of a chiropractic office, whether you're part of a dental office, whether you sell cars, whether you sell houses, whatever you have right now that you do, if you can't do business as usual, you need to be live streaming. You need to be cutting videos for your audience to help them through this. If you are a real estate agent, teach me some things that I can use at my home to survive. Like right now, people are in front of this. They're in front of a computer, just like you all are right now. And they're either in front of a computer or their phone and they're watching. And if you were in a local space and you are communicating with people this way, even if you're not making money right now, even if you're not making money right now, you can set yourself up to be such a resource for your community that it's going to grow your business. One of the big things that the reason my business is growing right now is I have so many entrepreneurs, so many small businesses that are reaching out to us right now to set their marketing up, to get it going, to get their website right, to get their email marketing right, to get their Facebook marketing right. They're reaching out to us right now because they want to get this stuff in place for when things start to kick back in. And that's the thing. Entrepreneurs, businesses don't stop. People don't stop. They keep moving even when their situations are changing. And so right now, if you're sort of in this spot where you're sort of feeling desperate about things, I want you to understand people are still moving. People are still spending money. People are still doing things. Look for the pivot. And if you need any help on what a pivot would be, reach out to me. A lot of the musicians in my town are doing live streams to support themselves in the bars that they normally work in. Okay. I have bartender friends from all over the country that are starting to make drinks online and take tips. I have chiropractors that have started teaching online, that have started teaching things online that you can do from home. And it's been a huge help for people, especially with all this stress. And I tell you what, it's big because we've got this infrastructure. And this is the key. And this is like what I was talking about through the tornado, how I was able to help and people were able to help me by alerting each other. We've got this infrastructure that if you start to learn how to use, you can impact a ton of people. You can impact a ton of people. And so if you're a business owner right now and you're like stuck at home, this is where you need to be. And by the way, how I'm doing this is just me using something called StreamYard. And StreamYard is just a service that we have to go live. I'm going live to like 3 different spots on Facebook, 4 different spots on Facebook right now. I'm going live to YouTube right now. And we're talking to our audience. And you can do that too. And you can be a huge service, which translates to either business for you now or business later. And that's key. If you are someone that works for a business and you want to do other things, start talking about this, okay? Start talking about this. And I would say that look for other ways that you can pivot and be useful, because I'm telling you, businesses right now need help. They need help. They need help pivoting to things. My buddy John jumped into the chat, and John says, was on a call today. Client sold 3 jobs via virtual quote. John, we're seeing that everywhere. And that's the thing. During COVID-19, the folks that have been pivoting, we had folks that were on a class with us last year, and that, or last week, actually, that have started to turn that into business. And that's the thing. These things are huge, okay? These things are absolutely huge. And so there's money to be made, but you just have to make it a little bit different. And you're not taking advantage of anybody. You're helping them to put in infrastructure so they can get through this. And so my marketers, my folks that have been going through this, I think everybody was a little freaked out at first. We still don't know kind of what's happening. But my marketer friends, my entrepreneurs have been thriving because they've been pivoting. And I think everybody that I'm starting to talk to, even the ones that are not business owners, are starting to understand ways that they can make things happen with this. I'm here to help. So make sure that you're reaching out with what we've got. John, hey, what's up, buddy? Hope you're doing good. And it's like I said, John was with me in Washington, and it was a whole different world when we got back. So it's been interesting for sure. So all those things said, COVID-19 so far, keep innovating, keep pivoting. If you don't know how, if you need ideas, post in here, contact me directly. We help businesses sort of do this all the time. I'm not looking to make money right now with this kind of stuff. I'm looking to help businesses pivot, and I would just love to get on a call with you. I've been on so many calls with people the last little bit, talking about how they can pivot, how they can make money in their business, even though their business is completely different than what it was before. And we're here. Just reach out. That's what this is all about. Okay, so all that said, I get into my last topic. I don't want to keep you guys here too long, and we're coming up on like 25 minutes. And so, I like these to be as short and sweet as possible. Hope. That's the thing right now. What's keeping people going is hope. And hope in the right hands is a powerful thing. Hope for me is understanding what's coming and how I'm going to be a part of that. I don't just hope. I hope, and then I go and try to shape it. And so that's the thing I want you to understand. What I've noticed through all this is really negative people have gotten more negative. Really positive people have gotten more positive. And my biggest hope right now is that this starts linking us up. I feel like we've been divided the last 2 or 3 years in a really interesting way. And I hope that what comes out of all this is we start locking ourselves together and noticing the things that are much better about us. Yeah, that may seem pie in the sky to some of you. That's okay. You're not my people. My people are the ones that see the hope in the things that at first you may not see as hopeful. And so COVID-19, it's definitely messed with my head. It's definitely messed with a lot of your heads. It's messed with a lot of your bank accounts. I understand that. And I don't like that one bit. But the goal is how do you get stronger from this stuff? The tornado that hit us, that sucked. The tornado that hit this weekend, it sucked. And it's going to take some time to rebuild the things around here, the infrastructure and all the businesses that were destroyed. And those are people's jobs. That's people's livelihoods. But the thing that's interesting is when you are around a bunch of people that understand the power of hope and what they can do with it in their hands and what they're going to do when they come back stronger, amazing things can happen. Okay. And, this is what I like seeing here is like what Scott says. And I've got it on the window right now for you. As long as there's still time on the clock, we can play a big game. And there's still a lot of time on the clock. It's just, we're down a couple points. So let's jump in here. Richard, my buddy Richard, just got off the phone with the window cleaning company wanting to do something that's been relying on corporate office for marketing. It's out there and people are needing our help. Yeah, it's there, And Rebecca says, "You are my people. So happy to see you stand up and state who you are." You too. That's the thing. And overall, I think that's where I'm at. I have something that happens to me every few years. And I want to just leave you all with this today. And I have a lot of people that when they start getting their ass handed to them, because it happens to all of us, that's, it's real easy to sort of get in that mode of negativity and, oh my gosh, I'm so done with this year and, all of these things. The thing that I always say is when you start having things coming at you, like maybe they've come at you like COVID, and then we had this tornado, my line that I like to throw out there and that I want you all to sort of adopt is this: it's come and get me. And I feel like when you can stare in the face of this stuff and you can say, come and get me, you take on a completely different perspective to life, and you take the power of all situations back. And so that's what I want you to have. And what I want to leave you with today is COVID-19. You could get real upset about that. It's not great. There's a lot of bad things happening, but there's a lot of people to help. And that's the hope that I've got. There's a lot of people to help right now. And those people are going to be friends for life. And if they're not already, this tornado, there's a lot of things that, I've got to go do when I get off this live today to play our part and to help. And thank goodness we've worked so hard on this company to build this company. But once again, with the tornado, with COVID-19, I had a lot of entrepreneurs that were scared and their business was falling out from under them. And we put an opportunity for them to donate money a couple of weeks ago. And then we were going to match their donations. And even though they were scared and some of them struggling, they donated money. Like, that's hope. That's hope. That's the kind of people you want to surround yourself with, is when I put out a sale and we're selling something and we give people an option to donate and we'll match it. And they do, even though they're maybe freaked out. Maybe their business has changed. Maybe their whole world has fallen out from under them. And they're still trying to help someone else out there that needs help. NoKidsHungry.org. We put that out there and it gives meals to kids that may not have a meal. And we've got people out there doing it. That's hopeful and that's powerful. So right now, what I want to leave you guys with today is when you see this stuff coming your way and it seems negative, when you see the bottom falling out from underneath people and it really scares the crap out of you. When you turn on the TV and you see the news, and I think it's important to watch the news, but I think it's important not to get scared. When you see these things that seem negative, I want you to take that mindset, say, come and get me. And not only do you have the ability to figure out how to come up against it yourself, you got a whole lot of friends. If you're here watching this right now, you got at least one friend that would love to talk to you anytime. And so, like I said, what's happening right now, there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of scary things out there, but there are a lot more good people out there and smart people out there that can contend with this stuff. And together we're pretty damn strong. So all that said, I'm going to be doing more of this. I'm going to be putting out, I'm pretty sure I got a pod coming out this evening, the Serial Progress Seeker pod, that we're going to be talking about some of this stuff. And if you haven't got a chance to listen to that pod, it's pretty raw. It's pretty me talking through not only strategies of how we grow businesses, but this kind of stuff, what's actually happening in my life as I've grown this really strange internet business over the last few years. And I would invite you guys to come check it out. So all that said, thank you all for the comments today, like this with Jeanette saying, great to get to know you. I see hope. My faith is too strong not to see it any other way. From adversity and challenges come great navigators. If you can navigate through this, you can navigate through anything. And I tell you, that is huge. So all that said, thank you guys for being here today, being with me for about 30 minutes. You guys are freaking amazing. I'm going to keep broadcasting. If you have specific questions, send me your questions. Send them over, and the next live that we do will be on this stuff. And anything that you guys got navigating through COVID-19, navigating through the economic fallout, navigating through, if you happen to live through a tornado like we just did during all of this, whatever is hitting you right now, we want to be a part of the solution for you. We want to be a part of your team. And I'm not asking you to go do anything to do that. Just reach out and let me know. Let me know how we can be more of service to you in all of this. So be good. Remember, hope. That's what gets us through. Remember, come and get me when you're staring in the face of really bad things. I just want you to say, come and get me, because with what you've got up here, and with the people around you, think about the good people around you. Get rid of those people that are negative. Get rid of those people that don't serve any purpose in your life. Maybe it's a family, maybe it's a friend, but get rid of those people. You need to be around people that lift you up, that you also lift up, and be a lifter. Don't be that negative person. And when you have that network of friends, when you have what's here, in that network around you, come and get me is a very powerful line to all the things facing you. All right. All that said, you guys are great today. I can't thank you enough for all the really kind comments, and I'm trying to get them all on the screen, but there's so many of them. So I really appreciate all that. And listen, Dr. Ben Atkins here, serialprogressseeker.com. That's where you can find more from me. That's where you can contact me, or you can hit me up on Facebook, I'm sure. We're here to help. If you're having trouble getting through any of the stuff right now that's going on, reach out. We're here to help you out, whether, like I said, you lived through a tornado this weekend, you're living through COVID-19 and all the things that have to do with that, reach out. We're here to help, and I hope you enjoyed today's live stream. We got more coming soon. Make sure you send us in your questions in the things that you're up against, and we'll address them on this live. All right, be good. I'll talk to you soon.